First Contact and Betrayal Commander Maya Chen stood on the observation deck of the Earth vessel Odyssey, watching as the vast emptiness of space stretched before her. The ship cruised through the darkness beyond Jupiter's orbit, on a routine mission to check the mining facilities on Europa. After 15 years in Earth's Space Force, Maya still found herself in awe of the cosmos. "Commander," Lieutenant Raj Patel's voice crackled through the comm system. "We're picking up something unusual on long-range scanners. You might want to see this." Maya made her way to the bridge, her tall frame moving with the practiced ease of someone who had spent most of their adult life in varying gravity conditions. The crew worked with quiet efficiency around her, a testament to the discipline she had instilled. "What have we got, Lieutenant?" she asked, leaning over Patel's shoulder to look at the display. "It appeared out of nowhere, Commander. One moment nothing, then this." Patel pointed to a massive object on the screen. "It's like it just folded into our space." The object was enormous, at least 20 times the size of the Odyssey. Its surface gleamed with what looked like burnished copper, intricate patterns etched across its hull that pulsed with an inner light. "Full stop," Maya ordered. "All stations alert. Dr. Alvarez, any readings on composition or energy signatures?" Dr. Sofia Alvarez, the ship's chief scientist, was already working furiously at her station. "It's unlike anything in our database, Commander. The metals are unfamiliar, and there's an energy field surrounding it that operates on principles I've never seen before." Maya took a deep breath. This was the moment humanity had been preparing for since they first looked up at the stars and wondered if they were alone. "Open a communication channel, wide spectrum, all known formats." Communications Officer Liam O'Neill nodded. "Channel open, Commander." Maya straightened her uniform and spoke clearly. "This is Commander Maya Chen of the Earth vessel Odyssey. We come in peace and wish to establish friendly contact." The bridge fell silent as everyone waited. 10 seconds passed. 20. 30. "No." Response on any? O'Neill began, but stopped as the main screen flickered to life. The being on the screen was humanoid but clearly alien. Its skin was a pale lavender with ridges where a human's eyebrows would be. 4 eyes arranged in a diamond pattern blinked in sequence as it studied the humans. "Earth vessel," the alien spoke, its voice melodic yet somehow mechanical. "I am First Emissary Zorax of the Galactic Confederation. Your species has been observed for some time. It seems you have advanced enough to warrant formal contact." Maya felt a chill run down her spine at the words, "observed for some time," but maintained her composure. "We welcome the opportunity for peaceful exchange, First Emissary. This is a historic moment for humanity." Zorax's 4 eyes blinked again. "Indeed. We invite you to dock with our vessel. A delegation may board to discuss your species' inclusion in the Confederation." After securing approval from Earth Command, Maya led a small team including Dr. Alvarez, Security Chief Marcus Washington, and Diplomatic Officer Talia Kim onto the alien vessel. They were guided through corridors that seemed to shift and change as they walked, eventually reaching a vast chamber where representatives of 12 different species sat in a semicircle. "The Galactic Confederation Council welcomes the representatives of Earth," announced a towering being composed of what looked like living crystal. "I am High Chancellor Christos. You stand before the governing body of over 300 inhabited worlds spanning this arm of the galaxy. Over the next several days, the Earth delegation was given tours of the Confederation vessel, explained the basics of galactic politics, and offered technological gifts as gestures of goodwill. The humans were overwhelmed but cautiously optimistic about this new chapter in their history. What they didn't know was what happened when they weren't present. "These humans are barely past their industrial phase," said Counselor Vex, a reptilian being with scales that changed color with its emotions, currently a dismissive blue. "Their technology is primitive, their lifespans laughably brief. They have potential as a resource world, nothing more." High Chancellor Christos nodded. "The third planet in their system has rare mineral concentrations that would be valuable to our expansion efforts. Their oceans contain compounds useful for our bioengineering projects." Zorax's 4 eyes narrowed. Their military capabilities are minimal. They have no defense against quantum displacement weapons or psychic warfare. A controlled harvest operation could begin within their lunar cycle. What of their delegation? Asked a counselor composed entirely of swirling gas contained within a translucent field. They will be studied, then disposed of, Christos stated matter-of-factly. Standard procedure for non-essential species. Back on the Odyssey, Communications Officer O'Neill had been working tirelessly. Something about the Confederation's communications network had bothered him from the start. It was too perfect, too seamless. Using specialized equipment he had developed as a hobby, he managed to decrypt a portion of their internal messages. What he found horrified him. "Commander," he said, his face pale as Maya returned from another meeting with the Council. "I need to speak with you privately. Now." In her quarters, O'Neill played the intercepted messages. Maya listened, her expression hardening with each revelation of the Confederation's true intentions. "Send this to Earth Command immediately," she ordered. "Priority Alpha, use the quantum channel, it's untraceable." But it was too late. As O'Neill rushed to transmit the warning, the Odyssey shuddered violently. The lights flickered and died, replaced by the dim red glow of emergency systems. "We're being held in some kind of energy field," reported Chief Engineer Yuki Tanaka, over the emergency comm. "Main power is offline. Backup systems functioning at minimal capacity." On the main screen, Zorax's face appeared. "Commander Chen, it seems your communications officer has been quite industrious. Unfortunately, we cannot allow this information to reach your planet." Maya stood tall, her voice steady despite the fear churning in her stomach. "You won't get away with this. Earth isn't defenseless." Zorax's four eyes blinked in that unsettling sequence. "Your weapons are toys compared to ours. Your most advanced ships would be considered museum pieces in our civilization. Resistance is futile and, frankly, beneath consideration." What Zorax and the Confederation didn't know was that humanity had always been at its most dangerous when underestimated. As the Odyssey was towed into the massive Confederation vessel, Maya caught the eye of Dr. Alvarez and gave an almost imperceptible, Dr. Alvarez discreetly pressed a small device hidden in her palm. It contained no electronic components that alien scanners could detect, just a simple mechanical trigger that activated a quantum-entangled particle. Instantaneously, regardless of distance, its twin particle on Earth registered the change in state. The warning had been sent. On Earth, in the hidden depths of the Unified Defense Command, General Leona Taylor stared at the small device that had just activated on her desk. Its single red light confirmed her worst fears. "It's happened," she said to the room of military leaders from around the world. "Operation Cassandra is now in effect." For decades, ever since the earliest days of space exploration, certain factions within Earth's governments had prepared for the possibility that first contact might not be peaceful. While publicly promoting hopes for benevolent alien civilizations, they had quietly built hidden installations, developed alternative technologies, and created contingency plans. "How long do we have?" asked Admiral Hiroshi Nakamura of the Pan-Asian Alliance. "Unknown," Taylor replied. "But we must assume hostile action is imminent. Activate all sleeper cells. Implement Protocol Omega." Across the planet, hidden facilities hummed to life. Satellites disguised as space junk activated cloaking fields. Underground bunkers opened to reveal advanced weapon systems that had never been documented in any public record. Meanwhile, the Confederation began its assault. Without warning, massive ships appeared in orbit around Earth's furthest colonies on Mars and Europa. Energy weapons unlike anything humans had ever witnessed sliced through defensive installations like they were paper. "Resistance is minimal," reported a Confederation commander to the Council. "Their military outposts are being neutralized with standard efficiency." High Chancellor Christos nodded with satisfaction. "Excellent. Prepare the resource extraction teams. We'll begin with their oceanic regions, the least valuable territories for quick harvesting. On the Confederation's main vessel, Maya and her crew had been separated and placed in individual detention cells. The transparent walls allowed them to see each other, but prevented any communication. Or so the aliens thought. Maya tapped her fingers against her leg in a pattern that looked random, but was actually a modified Morse code that her crew had practiced for emergency situations. Stay calm. Observe everything. Earth knows. Dr. Alvarez caught the message and subtly signaled her understanding. Then she began to do what scientists do best. She observed. Every material in her cell, every technology the guards carried, every pattern in the ship's systems. Knowledge was power, and right now it was humanity's only hope. Back on Earth, as the Confederation prepared to claim their newest conquest, they remained unaware of a simple truth that countless others had learned throughout human history. Never corner a species that evolved as both predator and prey, for when humans have no choice but to fight, they fight with a ferocity and ingenuity that knows no bounds. And the Galactic Confederation was about to learn this lesson the hard way. Operation Phoenix Rising. 3 months had passed since the Confederation's initial attack. To the alien coalition, the conquest of Earth was proceeding according to standard protocols, methodical, efficient, and utterly routine. They had neutralized major military installations, established harvesting operations in strategic locations, and begun the process of stripping the planet of its valuable resources. But beneath the surface, humanity was far from defeated. In her cell aboard the Confederation's command vessel, Commander Maya Chen had been meticulously cataloging her captors' weaknesses. Every guard rotation, every system malfunction, every overheard conversation between alien crew members, all carefully memorized and analyzed. "You continue to fascinate us, Commander," said Zorax during one of his regular interrogation sessions. "Most species break after witnessing the futility of resistance, yet you maintain this dignity." Maya kept her face neutral. "Humans are stubborn that way." What Zorax didn't realize was that the Confederation's biggest mistake wasn't attacking Earth. It was keeping humans alive long enough to study their technology and find its vulnerabilities. Dr. Sofia Alvarez had made a critical discovery during her 3rd week of captivity. The Confederation's seemingly advanced technology relied on a fundamental principle that was actually its greatest weakness: quantum resonance synchronization. Every system on their ships, from weapons to life support, operated on the same quantum frequency. Through careful observation, she had managed to identify this frequency by watching the subtle vibrations in her cell's transparent walls whenever major systems activated. Using a small metal implant in her molar, standard issue for all high-ranking Earth officers but undetectable to alien scanners, she tapped out this information in code whenever she and Maya could establish visual contact. On Earth, the resistance was growing stronger by the day. The Confederation had expected to find a fractured planet of competing nations. Instead, they encountered a humanity united by a common threat. In a vast underground facility beneath the Rocky Mountains, one of dozens hidden around the world, General Leona Taylor addressed the unified command of Earth's remaining military forces. "The intelligence from Commander Chen's team has been invaluable," she said, gesturing to a holographic display of the Confederation's quantum frequency patterns. "Dr. Eliza Wong and her team have developed what we're calling the Harmony Disruptor." Dr. Wong, a brilliant quantum physicist with unkempt hair and perpetually ink-stained fingers, stepped forward. "The Confederation's technology is actually quite vulnerable once you understand its foundation. They use a synchronized quantum field that allows their systems to operate with perfect efficiency. But like any synchronized system, disrupt one part and the whole thing falls," finished Admiral Nakamura. "Exactly," Dr. Wong nodded. "The Harmony Disruptor creates a cascading quantum interference pattern that will essentially render all their technology inert. No weapons, no shields, no communications, everything goes dark simultaneously." "How long will the effect last?" asked Colonel Dmitry Volkov of the Eurasian Defense Coalition. "Approximately 8 hours," Dr. Wong replied. "More than enough time for Phase 2. Phase 2 was the brainchild of Dr. Marcus Wright, a neurobiologist who had spent his career studying how different species' nervous systems processed information. Based on the biological data smuggled out by Dr. Alvarez, he had created a non-lethal compound called Serenity. It's essentially a highly specialized neurotransmitter inhibitor, Dr. Wright explained. It temporarily blocks the equivalent of their sympathetic nervous system, what we would call the fight or flight response. They'll remain conscious but compliant, unable to feel fear or aggression for approximately 12 hours. General Taylor nodded. Operation Phoenix Rising is scheduled to commence in 72 hours, all teams to final positions. Across the solar system, humanity's hidden assets moved into place. Stealth ships that had been concealed within asteroid belts and beneath the ice sheets of distant moons. Special forces teams equipped with technology that had been developed in secret for decades. Ordinary citizens prepared to rise up in coordinated actions against occupation forces. Aboard the Confederation command vessel, Maya received the signal she had been waiting for, a barely perceptible flicker in the lighting that matched an old Earth Naval Code 3 short 3 long 3 short SOS, the universal distress signal now repurposed as a warning to allies. Strike imminent. Be ready. Maya looked across the detention area to where she could see Dr. Alvarez and gave an almost imperceptible nod. It was time. At exactly 0300 Universal Earth time, Operation Phoenix Rising began. The first phase was utterly silent. Thousands of miniature drones, no larger than insects and built with materials that were invisible to Confederation scanners, released the Harmony Disruptor pulse simultaneously at key points throughout the solar system. On the Confederation command vessel, First Emissary Zorax was conducting a routine inspection when every system around him suddenly failed. The lights died. The humming of energy fields ceased. Even the subtle vibration of the ship's massive engines fell silent. "What's happening?" he demanded, his four eyes blinking rapidly in distress. "Engineering, report security status." But no response came. Every communication device, from the most sophisticated quantum entanglement communicator to the simplest emergency backup system, had gone dark. In the detention area, the energy fields containing Maya and her crew flickered and died. The transparent walls became opaque as their molecular structure destabilized. "Now!" Maya shouted, breaking through the weakened material. Her crew followed suit, quickly overpowering the confused guards who found their weapons non-functional. On Earth, the second phase began. Hidden atmospheric processors released the Serenity compound into the air around major Confederation installations. Within minutes, alien troops found themselves unable to resist as human forces emerged from hiding to take control. High Chancellor Christos was in the council chamber when the effects hit him. He felt a strange calmness wash over him, replacing his initial panic at the system's failure. When humans in unfamiliar combat armor entered the chamber, he found himself unable to feel threatened by their presence. "High Chancellor," said General Taylor, as she approached the alien leader, "I believe we need to renegotiate the terms of our relationship." The reclamation of Earth and its colonies took less than 6 hours. The liberation of the captured Earth vessel Odyssey and rescue of its crew was accomplished in under 2. By the time the effects of the Harmony Disruptor began to fade, humanity had secured control of every Confederation ship and installation in the solar system. As the Serenity compound wore off, the Confederation leaders found themselves facing a very different situation than they had expected. In the Grand Council chamber of the Confederation's command vessel, now under human control, Maya stood beside General Taylor as they addressed the assembled alien leaders. "The terms are non-negotiable," Taylor stated firmly. "Earth and all human colonies are recognized as sovereign and independent. The Confederation will withdraw all forces from our solar system immediately. A reparations agreement will be established for the damage and loss of life you have caused." Zorax, still struggling to comprehend how completely the situation had reversed, found his voice. "And if we refuse?" Maya stepped forward. "We now control your ships, your weapons, and your communication network. We've uploaded the specifications for the Harmony Disruptor to every human outpost. If provoked, We can deploy it across your entire empire. High Chancellor Christos studied the humans with all the considerable analytical power of his crystalline brain. You could have destroyed us completely, why didn't you? Because that's not who we are, Maya replied simply. Humanity has a long, complicated history of conflict, but also of reconciliation. We don't seek dominance or revenge. We seek respect and peaceful coexistence. General Taylor nodded. Consider this a reset of our relationship. Next time, perhaps you'll approach us as equals, rather than as resources to be harvested. The Confederation Council had no choice but to agree to the terms. Within days, a formal treaty was signed recognizing Earth as a sovereign power in the galaxy. As Maya watched the Confederation ships depart from Earth orbit, Lieutenant Raj Patel joined her on the observation deck of the restored Odyssey. They never saw it coming, did they, Commander? He asked. Maya shook her head. Their biggest mistake was underestimating us. Throughout human history, we've always been at our most innovative, our most determined, when our backs are against the wall. Do you think they'll return? Patel's voice held a note of concern. Perhaps, Maya said thoughtfully, but next time they'll approach with caution and respect. And we'll be ready, not just with weapons and defenses, but with diplomats and scientists too. 6 months later, a delegation from Earth arrived at the Confederation's central world. For the first time in the Confederation's 10,000-year history, they welcomed a primitive species as equals. Human ingenuity, resilience, and determination had earned them a place among the stars that no one could deny. As Maya, now Admiral Chen, stepped into the Grand Council chamber as Earth's first official ambassador, she saw respect in the eyes of the alien representatives, even in Zorax's 4 blinking eyes. The Galactic Confederation had learned a valuable lesson. Never underestimate a species that had survived ice ages, plagues, world wars, and its own destructive tendencies to reach for the stars. Humanity might be young in cosmic terms, but they had earned their place in the galaxy through courage, innovation, and an indomitable spirit that could not be broken. And that was something the entire galaxy would soon come to recognize.